One issue you will run into when sewing with felt is you cannot start your string or start your thread like normal. So by normal, I mean when I was a kid, my dad taught me to tie a knot at the end of the string, and then I was supposed to go ahead and just put the needle through my fabric and then pull, and that knot would keep the thread from going through the fabric. But that doesn't work with felt. If I pull just right, it pulls straight through the felt. So I'm going to show you a method of starting your thread that will work with any fabric. It's a little hard to see exactly what you're supposed to do to tie a square knot when you're working with a little tiny piece of thread. So I've got this 1/2 inch piece of rope here that we're going to thread through this board that I've made specifically for this purpose. It's for practicing tying knots. So I'm going to thread my rope here down through the first hole and up through the second hole. I've got a tail now right here about this long. We need to go right, this is the right hand side, over the left, and then it goes through the inside here. I'm going to pull it tight, and then you do the left over the right, and then the tail goes through the hole there. And if I pull tight, I get this sort of symmetrical looking pretzelish kind of shape here. This is what you're looking for. If you don't see this, you've done something incorrectly. I am going to sew down and then up. And I'm going to keep pulling until there's a fairly small tail here. And that should work. And then I'm going to do a square knot. I'm going to tie a square knot. So that means I'm going to do right over left. And then left over right. Trying to keep my big fat fingers out of the video as much as possible, but it's pretty hard. Just like that. Now, no matter how much I pull on this string, it's not going to pull through the felt. It will allow me to start my sewing project or start my thread here, and I can make the different connections that I need to in my eTextiles project. Once you've tied your square knot to start your stitch, then my board's long enough here that we can actually see how to stop it. So I'm going to thread my rope down through the next hole, up through this one, down through the next hole, and up through this one. So to stop our thread in such a way that it doesn't, it's not going to come undone, we're going to tie some 1/2 hitches. So I'm going to use this end of the rope here, and we're going to tie 1/2 hitches to our previous stitch. So I'm going to go underneath that stitch, and then I'm going to pull down here, and I'm going to make sure it's tight like that. And then this tail is going to go underneath this part right here, but over that part. I'm going to pull. That's 1/2 hitch. Then I'm going to go and do the exact same thing again. This is going to go underneath here and over there. And I pull again. That's 2/2 hitches. I'm going to tie one more. Under and over. So if you look at that knot, you see kind of a nice sort of chain sort of shape forming here. And you see 1, 2, 3 little loops around our rope right here. This is the shape you should be looking for. If you don't see this, you've done something incorrectly. And that's about enough. So you can see I've got a few stitches here, and I want to go ahead and stop this. So how do I do that? Well, the easiest way is to tie a couple half hitches to a previous stitch. So I'm going underneath that stitch, and now I'm going to pull tight, and then I'm going to go under this piece right here and over that. And that will be 1 half hitch. I'm going to do that a couple more times. So again, I got this little loop here where I go underneath that one but over starting piece there. Pull tight again, and I'll do one last one. So I like to end my threads with 3 half hitches. Just like that. And then when you cut it, leave a good sized tail. Before you grab a needle and thread, I want you to practice tying these knots exactly as I've shown you in this video. I want to make sure that you know how to tie these correctly so that you don't waste your own time and my supplies.